Hi there, this is Michael Cross here with another edition of Economics Made Easy. And, well, a little bit about myself. I'm an instructor of psychology, but also of international finance, and also the host of Unlock the Door Radio, and author of the Freedom from Conscience series. If you want any additional information, check michaelcross.net. Anyway, what I want to talk about today is how prices are set, and I want to use this piece of wood here, this piece of firewood, to illustrate how prices are set in, I think, a very easily comprehensible manner. Okay, now the thing is that all items that we purchase, whether they be a car, clothes, vacation home, or yes, this piece of wood, are all affected by the same factors that will enable the prices to be set in a market economy. Usually, these factors are based on supply and demand. And so, let me just kind of go into how this piece of wood winds up being cut from a tree, processed, turned into firewood that people can use to, heat their homes during the wintertime. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into the price of this piece of wood. One of them is, for instance, the cost of the trees that someone will cut down. A person may have to purchase an area in order to process wood in order to, supply it. And you have to encourage that person to do this. It takes a lot of work to saw a tree down, cut the branches off, saw it up, and then chop it up. And a person's not going to just do that voluntarily. They have to have an incentive. And so therefore, let's say a person has just heard that a really cold winter is coming up. And they've also heard that it's going to be a major shortage of oil. Let's say there's another war in the Middle East, or a pipeline gets blown up in Nigeria. Well, that means that a smart person will realize, well, wait a minute, that means the price of gasoline and home heating oil and natural gas will go up because, of course, the supply has been interrupted. And they'll realize a lot of people will try to supplement their heating during the wintertime with firewood, rather than just going ahead and turning the radiators on or using natural gas or any other number of alternatives. There's also the factor that could come up that you find out it's going to be a super cold winter. Okay? That you find out that all the meteorologists are saying that the cycle is such that it's going to be a really super cold winter. So, this means that you realize you can make money by either going out and purchasing some wood to cut up, or if you have property already, going ahead and processing some of those trees. Now, some of the other factors that can go into this, of course, will be factors such as where you live. If you live in a warm climate, it's a little bit harder to get people to buy firewood because maybe you don't need to have a fire going all the time. If you live in a cold climate, then of course it's going to be a huge factor. Something that you can save a lot of money by going ahead and having fires during the winter. The other factor could be what kind of terrain you live in. As you look around here, lots of trees. Okay, conifer forest. So the supply of trees is actually quite high. If, on the other hand, you live out in the desert, I've been to Tibet before, and people had a hard time finding wood because it's scarce. It's out like in the Gobi Desert. So therefore, the supply of potential wood is lower, and therefore prices would be higher. In conjunction with what the people could afford in their particular currency. Now, other factors that could go into the price of firewood, like I said before, could be alternatives. Solar energy is actually quite expensive to put in. Now, in the future, it has payoffs, and you can save money. But for most people right now, the payoff would take years if you installed solar heating. Now, if solar heating were to suddenly take off, you had more application of nanotechnology and that sort of thing, and it became more efficient, all of a sudden, a lot of people would say, why do I need to use wood? Why can't I just use something that is cheaper? I mean, use solar energy. It's less hassle to carry wood in the middle of winter when there's a snowstorm. Now, other factors that could affect this are the government regulations. If, for instance, you live in a country such as Sweden, it has a huge tax on energy. In fact, somewhere around 70% of what you pay for gasoline and that sort of thing is actually taxed to the government. So therefore, using firewood, that's a good idea. You know, you can save a lot of money. If, on the other hand, let's say a country such as Sweden were to place environmental regulations, because so many people are using firewood that people complain that there's a lot of smoke, then you could have a situation where the environmental regulations would reduce the quantity of people that were demanding firewood, so therefore the price could actually go down because, well, no one wants to use it anymore. Maybe it's actually just as cheap to use home heating oil or turn the electrical radiators on and so forth. Now, what I want people to remember is ultimately that prices will affect whether someone's going to go out and spend a lot of their time and energy processing and creating something for people to buy. If the price is high, people are willing to put in a lot more energy. If the price is low, they're not quite as willing. And so you got to keep those factors in mind. You've got to keep the factors such as the quantity of the resource. You've got to keep in mind government regulations. But all these things come together in order to give us the price that we pay for products. And again, whether it's a piece of firewood, car, airline ticket, all of it is ultimately affected by these same basic concepts regarding supply, demand, and competition. Thank you.